Hey everybody, it's Fall of Rain Tarot. I'm back with another tarot reading for you. This is a timeless collective reading for all signs. So hopefully this will resonate for somebody. Spirit gave me another download that felt very urgent. You have to forgive me, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I've gotten a lot better since yesterday. Anyway, I'm a little congested still, so I'm sorry about how my voice might sound. But anybody who followed me from my first video and checked out the content, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, that video got flagged for some reason and is not available on the For You page. It said it was for graphic content, which I can't imagine why that is. There's nothing graphic in that video or anything that might be disturbing to anybody that I know of. And I try not to curse on this channel, by the way. I try not to swear because I'm not gonna lie. I curse like a sailor outside of doing this. I'm not gonna lie to you, or else Spirit will convict me. I will. Well, it'll be bad. But so as some of you may know, I don't do a traditional tarot spread. I do 2 cards that are for the beginning of a situation, two cards for the intermediate, for the middle of a given scenario, and then 2 cards that are sort of the finality of that situation. That's just how I've always read. That's the way that feels most intuitive to me as a reader. If you're coming here for the Celtic Cross or anything like that, I apologize that that's not the case. Anyway, without further ado, piggybacking right off of the back of my last reading, this reading it feels to me almost like a direct continuation of the first reading. Because if you remember from the first reading, there is a lot here that I think carries over because you have a decision to make for the new year. There is something coming in for the collective, and we're going to have to make a decision. And that is very clearly reflected on these first couple of cards, because we've got the Hanged Man in the upright, which represents having to get a new perspective on a decision, because it's flipped. He's hung himself upside down purposely so that he can see things from a different angle, but he's playing sort of a waiting game and trying to figure things out. And this is because you've got the 2 of Swords in the reverse, and the 2 of Swords typically represents a decision anyway, but in the reverse it represents particularly a struggle to make a decision that desperately needs to be made, one of 2 choices, and there's no backing out. It's an urgent decision that needs to be made. So you may be on a bit of a time crunch in terms of making that decision. It may be something you have to make a sort of snap intuitive judgment on. And so it's in the reverse because you're feeling sort of overwhelmed, and it's hard to make that call. Next, we have the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Swords, both in the upright. And this is just my take, but the way I read these cards in relation to these here is that the 6 of Cups represents something. It represents something sort of nostalgic, and it's something that it won't be easy to put behind you. And the 3 of Swords, it seems to indicate that one of the choices that you can make here, if you make that decision, it's going to be like stabbing somebody in the heart. There's going to be heartbreak involved, and it's something that seems to be very connected to nostalgia, because this card typically is very nostalgic. Anyway, then here at the bottom you have the Strength card in the upright and the Death card in the upright. So I'm seeing, and this might be hard for some of you to hear, I'm seeing you're going to have to be strong about the choice that you make here. You're going to have to make a tough decision, and you're going to have to buckle up. It reminds me of Thanos from the Avengers. It's the toughest choices require the toughest will. You're going to have to really buckle down and make a kind of hard choice here, and it is going to represent a death. There is going to be an ending, or an unaliving, I'm sorry. It's going to represent something is going to have to end in your life. There is a cycle that's going to have to come to a close in your life, and it represents something that's going to feel like a betrayal and the end of something that you're very nostalgic about. But And I feel like this reading could use a little bit more, so I don't normally do this, but I'm going to pull you one more card. Just a second. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And we have the Sun card. And it is in the upright. This is just how I pulled it out of the deck. So what we have is a situation where all of this is going to be very hard for you to encounter because you're going to have to make a really tough decision that feels like a sort of sacrifice of something you're very nostalgic about, something very beloved. You're going to have to be strong, and there's going to be an end to that.
And the door shall be opened.
The Sun, which is the most optimistic
Remember the password.
Certainly come out better for it. It's going to give you a lot of fulfillment, be it emotional, monetary, career-wise, in love, in something. You are going to have something absolutely very optimistic and fantastic to look forward to if you can overcome this tough decision and make that leap of faith.